Some say that you still run Windows 95 on your current computer.
I'm ashamed to admit it, but Gainz Nation, that is the truth. Can you imagine? Remember how bad dial-up was, man? Just like.
Yeah, I was listening to a Joe Rogan episode with not Andrew Schultz. It was with Tom Segura, and he goes, man, like when we were kids, they were talking about like watching adult films. They're like, man, it was so hard. He goes, we had to look at magazines or like some Cinemax stuff like in the family like living room. He goes, these kids have no idea how hard it is right these days to be able to get the ease of like watching anything like within a second.
We like the like exposed celebrity video tapes and stuff like that. We used to trade printed out like screenshots effectively of those like exposed celebrity like videos, adult films. We used to just like trade those like they were cards.
Anything to do to get what you call it, like, yeah, as I say, I don't like, yeah, you had to do printouts, and like even like printouts were like hard to even like capture something, because like even like the print option screen took like 10 minutes to load, so it's like you were on there. Yeah,
It's so funny because like that is like one thing that like I'll definitely like credit my mother for. Like she was like kind of like ahead of her time in many ways. Like we're freaking broke, man. But like what little money she could kind of like scram together, she did end up like buying a computer. I think she bought like an iMac or something like that.
oh wow.
I know that back in like the 90s, and I remember we would get on the internet, and we loved the game RuneScape. You ever played RuneScape?
Yep.
So we were obsessed with RuneScape. So my mother would be like, all right, I'm going to the convenience store to get milk or something like that. So one of us would like, walk her out to the car, say bye, all that stuff. And we like created a fence situation. The other person would like power on the computer. They would like, plug in like username, password, blah, 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 all like the credentials. They'd power up the internet, wait for dial up to freaking like have a stroke. And then we would get onto RuneScape. We would probably play for a max of like 5 minutes, mine like 12 different rocks or whatever. And then we would see her pulling in and we'd be like, oh shit, turn it off. Because like for whatever reason, she didn't want us playing RuneScape. So whichever one wasn't playing at the time, like either like one of my brothers, because like my stepbrother would do this too, we would like run outside to like meet our mother, and then like talk her up like, oh, how is the store, yada yada, and like try and distract her before like she brings the milk in. And then like the other one would like knock on the window or something like that. Like it was such an elaborate scheme, but it was, and we did it so many times, but it's so fun.
Yeah, I think we played mostly like Warcraft, like before World of Warcraft, like just like, if you think about it, it's like obviously like a 2D like World of Warcraft where you just fight like towns of people, I guess, instead of just like individual gameplay. Because like, to what my knowledge is, even though I don't play World of Warcraft, I have like friends that play it, but like you have like a solo character that you build, and then like probably like fortresses and stuff like that. But I think Warcraft back in the day, it was just like you had your own fortress, and then you would attack like pretty much bots the whole time. What's up?
That's cool. Yeah, one of my buddies, he was super into WoW, and like the funniest thing is, he lived like right down the street from us. So Mason and I, my brother, we would like walk down the street to go visit him, and we'd knock on his door. His mom would be like, "Oh yeah, come in," all this stuff. Trevor is like over here playing the game, and like, "Oh cool," we come over and be like, "What's up, Trevor?" And he'd be like, his eyes would be bloodshot. He'd be like, "I've been playing this for like 18 hours straight." We're like, "Dude, do you want to shoot with us?" And I just remember his complexion was like as pale as it can be, and he like he works like a manual labor job, so he like is usually pretty tan now when I see him. But it's so funny, like thinking back, like he looked like a freaking vampire because he would like go outside because he was just like Cartman from South Park, just like glued to the freaking computer screen.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's crazy, like when video games and like internet were like better, like pretty much like I guess my junior year in high school time, where like the internet was somewhat a thing and like online play was a thing. Um, like it was weird. We would just always just play until like the nighttime, and that, or we would play outside until the nighttime, and then play. Like I couldn't imagine how what our sleep schedule was. I bet we made it up like on the summer break, winter break, and like weekends. But like
Yeah.
we would play until like 9 o'clock on like or like 8 or 9, and then play video games till like 1 or 2 in the morning, and then wake up and go to school. And like we were all like pretty much top like students. Like I think my brother finished top 10 in high school. So
Yeah.
like yeah, in his class. So I mean I wasn't that level. And like my other brother was like top 10%. So he wasn't top 10, but he was like 10%. And then like me, I was in honors classes, but like it's like crazy. It's like we did that, and like I think we slept probably like 4 to 5 hours a night through Monday through Friday.
Yeah, I remember when my stepbrother would come over on weekends, we would like stay up, like catching up, and it'd be like 2 or 3 in the morning, and we're still like shooting the shit, laughing like as hard as one can. And our stepdad would come in, and he'd be like, "Go to sleep," and we would just like pretend like we were sleeping. So we would just like obnoxiously like snore. We would just be like, "Woo, woo," and he'd just get like so like upset at us. But yeah, that was pretty much our weekends as well.
You do, yeah, you do like the old school trick where you flip off the TV, but you don't turn off like the system, and then once they leave there, you turn the TV back on, it like resumes the gameplay. It's like the funny things like back in the day you would do and stuff like that. But anyways, back to instead of the men's health and fitness, we're doing some games podcast, some video gameplay early on. Video games for the gains. Um, Man, I cannot. We're going to get some wings tonight at Buffalo Wild Wings. Because usually on Wednesdays, like I was telling you guys before, is my run days. But we always try to do like something like instead of like a normal meal or like we'll do like a dessert or something like we'll go out or whatnot. But man, I cannot wait to go throw down some wings. I've been literally running on like protein and carbs all day today, and like I've been saving my fats for tonight's dinner. And like I had a big bowl of oatmeal before like hopping on camera, and I'm like still like starving. I need my fats, buddy.
Yeah, I know. They definitely help. My like big fatty meal today was I made like a breakfast burrito for my lunch. So it was like 2 eggs, maybe like a cup of ground beef, an ounce of cheddar cheese, and then a like a large tortilla shell, a banana. I have eggs and like ground beef too. It was 90-10, so not super fatty, but also not like super lean. That meal like always fills me up for like a good 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of breakfast burritos. Yeah, and that dude, that sounds amazing. Anything to deal with like a tortilla or like anything with like a taco, like I'm always game. Like I could probably eat tacos like any day of the week.
I know. I love tacos so much, man. I've been doing tostadas recently though. So we'll fry
Oh yeah,
like flat small tortillas.
yeah,
So
yeah. And you know what, Roman? I forgot to say on the last episode too, since we're talking about like might as well just do an update. So maybe I did tell you. I know I didn't tell the podcast, but so I finally bought a pair of running shoes, which are the Hoka Rincons 3, and then I think I did tell you, right?
yeah.
I didn't say anything on the podcast, but so recently I returned them and exchanged them for a wide pair instead of just the regular size. Um, and today was a second run in them, which I only did about 10.25 miles, and my one foot only had like a little blister. My right foot did not have any at all. So I think it's getting better. I might try to exchange them for the extra wides just in case, but I think it was the width issue. They're not like they weren't tight on my feet, but I think it just was just I'm so used to wearing like barefoot shoes now, where like anything like a regular size shoe, it's like I feel like my feet are just like growing on me where they're like spreading out a little bit more, instead of being like all pushed in. So yeah, today was a good run, buddy. But yeah, I don't know what else to say on that part.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But no, other than that, talk about today. You want to talk about like bodybuilding and like progress photos first? We could just do that first.
Oh, did you want to do that this week, or did you want to do that for next week?
Oh, we could do it this week, buddy.
Sweet. So I've been getting into like taking like progress photos and stuff like that, and like from like a maybe a desirability standpoint, I'm kind of ending like at really digging hard in the cut. Like I'll keep going, but I've noticed that like my step count is kind of dropped off. Like I still try to be as active as possible, but I was really trying to drive steps like 20,000 plus per day. I probably have leveled off around like okay with, and I really like the way things are kind of shaping up. So I'll continue to do what I've been doing and kind of like oscillate like physical activity. But it'll be like high protein meals, medium carbs, medium low fats. But a lot of my meals will be like dairy focused, because I can like easily and quickly like throw down like a shake, which is like low fat Greek yogurt, low fat milk. I might throw like a tablespoon of like sun butter in there, just fats in. Then use a couple like bananas and maybe some like berries as well. So just as an example. But yeah, as an aside, I've been taking like progress photos and whatnot, and that's always been something that's like been an interest of mine, is like the artsy nature of bodybuilding. So one of the things that I'd like to start to like bring to our IG, and maybe even potentially like a YouTube channel or something like that in the near future, is more just like still photos as opposed to videos, because I feel like a lot of the content that we show you is what our like workouts are, or like form videos, that kind of stuff. So in like the spirit of bodybuilding, since Antoine and I are both like passionate about bodybuilding, I hope to bring you like some posing, maybe explanation of posing. Maybe I'll even bring in like other either other guests, or like explain like where a certain pose like became popular, that kind of thing. Delving into like the history of like progress photos, or just like the art and the aesthetic aspect of bodybuilding. So not necessarily like of bodybuilding, meaning like the weight training and like the nutrition and like the optimization aspect, but more like the aesthetic and like the artful and like creativeness of bodybuilding. That's what I want to infuse more on our channel. So that was a little something I wanted to talk to you all about. What do you think about if we dive a little bit into that on the IG page, Antoine?
Yeah, no, I think this is a good idea. I was actually on the phone with my brother earlier, and we were talking about, he's in the medical field, and he's a runner, and he's about 5 years older than me, maybe a little bit over 4 years, just probably over 4 or 5 years older than me, and we are talking about like my goals after the marathon, and like someone that's like kind of like a non-lifter doesn't really I get he's not really he's like a lifter, non-lifter. He pretty much stays at like, I think he's about your height, Roman. He stays about like 150 to 155 though, so a little bit leaner than you. And we were talking about like how my blood work came back, and side note, my white blood cell count, I did retest. It's all normal. My doctor called. He's like, we think it's a medical or a lab error. So my labs came back normal. Also, my vitamin B12 was at 999. I don't know if I think I sent that to you, but like it's like on the high scale. So I think you wanted to check my B12, but it might have been not on the other test, and I didn't mention it. But other than that, so back to the point, after the marathon in January, I told him, I'm like, hey, I'm probably gonna, because of the marathon training, I haven't been trying to gain weight. Like even if I gain like 1 or 2 pounds here and there, like I always like bounce back because of the fact that I'm trying to just maintain right now. But I told him like, hey, after January, my next goal is probably to be 200 to 205 pounds. Because the fact that, I think Roman's probably said it before, and I'm pretty sure the last time you did a bulk, like you're like, damn, like I feel like sluggish, I'm bigger, I'm thicker, and it just seems like a lot of extra added weight, which I think Roman and I are also been lifting for a little bit longer. Where if we do add 5 to 10 pounds to our body weight, like some of it will be fat, yeah, but the whole goal, and I was telling my brother this, is the whole goal is, because I'm 195 now, so like 193 to 195 I average around, like I don't look like I was when I was 195 like 3 or 4 years ago. So
Yeah.
the whole overall goal is, right. So, and this goes back to the progress pictures and whatnot and how you're feeling overall, right? Because that's why we do blood work. That's why we do progress photos. But the whole goal is, so if I go up to 200, 205, even maybe 210, obviously I want to try to stay at like a healthier body weight. Because of that, I'll probably shoot back to 195 maybe in like a year or two, right? So like we're talking 2024, maybe 2025. I might shoot back down to this weight. And then I have the progress photos of when I was 195. And then if I do 2 years later and I look at it and I get my blood work done, like, holy cow, like that's pretty much the main point of it. We're adding muscle to our bodies. And if I get to 195 in 2024 or 25, and I could see, my abs again and whatnot, then it's just more progress added to the belt. And I think that's like the overall goal, especially for me personally. I mean, I'm not going to speak on Roman's behalf, but like, I think lately with like not competing in like bodybuilding or powerlifting, like maybe down the road I'll do bodybuilding again, but like the whole point is to just build that muscle belly and also just be like a healthier and like more like active human being. Like I want to be able to run a mile and deadlift 405 and then shoot a basketball from the 3-point line and like be able to smoke all 3 sessions in like 15 minutes. Like if someone asked me to do that, I know that sounds ridiculous and no one's going to ask me ever to do that, but like I want to be able to run a mile, deadlift 405 or like 315, maybe not 405 because you'd probably have to warm up, but like 315 and then shoot a basketball and like be able to be that human being. Like I just more and more I'm just looking forward to being able to be strong, be able to move, and be able to look good. So I think that's like I wanted to add that onto the progress photos because I think that's an important part with progress photos. Also, is you could keep yourself in check too. So like say if you're trying to do like a healthier bulk and you take progress photos, maybe that's the reason why you take the progress photos because you're like, dang, I'm looking a little thick. Maybe I should do like a mini cut, or maybe I gained too much weight. Like you can be honest with yourself. I gained too much weight. Now I have to lose it. Or if you're cutting, you take pictures and you're like, dude, holy cow! Like I'm vascular as hell. I could see all my muscles, but then you realize outside of the progress photos, you kind of have to kind of take a note on that photo. Say like, hey, photo from July 27th to 22. I felt pretty good. I had energy all day. I only had 1 cup of coffee. I had a lift, a pretty hard lift, and I was able to walk 10,000 steps. But when you come back to a cut and you're like, I took a photo in 2023 and I lost like 5 or 10 more pounds than I usually do. And you look really good in the photo, but if your goal is to look good and feel good, then you take that note and you're like, damn, maybe 185 for me is just way too low. I had to intake 2 or 3 cups of coffee. My mood, I seem like I'm just like aggravated. When I talk to people, I don't really socialize with people, and I'm not able to fully commit my time to my main income, which is my job, and be able to do all that stuff. So I know I'm beating around the bush a lot, Roman, and I'm saying probably way too much, but I'll just stop here.
No, it's all good. I totally agree. That's kind of where I've gotten to too. Like, I still want to like continue to pack like muscle on my frame and see like what like my quote unquote genetic ceiling is. I love like the progress I've made in the past like 3 coming up on 4 years. but yeah, I'm always hungry for more. So I'm excited for that. I will say in regards to like some of the educational content that we'll put out, we will talk about like taking photos at like similar times of the day. So you get the idea. Like if you do adopt some sort of like a bodybuilding type lifestyle, your body can change like from like a look perspective, like quite a bit, even like throughout the day, like intraday.
Yeah,
So
I could tell you after eating like, because I'll tend to eat like all my vegetables at the end of the day, and like I'll have like maybe like a lot of watermelon before dinner, like watermelon before dinner, and then like salad, maybe Brussels sprouts. Like I'm just flabby all over the place because I'm just holding on so much water and so much like fiber pretty much.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I've definitely noticed like similar things myself. And then, but like another thing behind it is like, um, for progress photos, you probably want to have similar lighting each time. So if you use like artificial lighting, like you turn on a light bulb, that kind of thing, make sure you always do that. Or if you like rely on natural lighting, that's when like depending on where you are in the world, geography wise, you might have to kind of change the time of day, but you'll have to note that too. But like one of the things that I've gotten into also is like you using shadows almost like to your benefit to highlight like certain areas. So I'll use like low lighting in the morning, for example, and I'll just like snap a couple of photos if I get like a at home an at home workout in or something along those lines. Just trying to make it like more artsy and like trying out like different creative poses and whatnot. So we'll put out some content. We'll explain like what we're doing and whatnot, and yeah, hopefully it'll inspire you, motivate you to either like pick up the style or to like adopt like more healthy behaviors, because that's what our channel's all about.
Yeah, and also too, I want to be like devil's advocate, but for some reason too, there's sometimes like a negative connotation on like progress photos. Um, I don't know why. I think the reason why is like people just like feel like, oh, you're like boasting because like you kind of look like average person, and now you dieted and like worked your butt off, and now you have like a nice physique. Um, I don't I don't think you should see it that way. I know a lot of like the fitness models. It's a lot harder for to see progress photos from them because it's like we don't know like the whole story, and it's kind of harder to live that lifestyle because they pretty much get paid on like keeping their body like that. So you want to make sure when you're looking at progress photos, like maybe like start off with like some like friends and family instead of like someone that you don't know. I think it's a little bit easier because when you get a group of people having the same job, like doing the same thing that you're going through, life's a little bit easier. Um, that's why like we have our lifting circles. Like we kind of tell people like I couldn't tell you how many times I've texted Roman and been like, man, 365 feels good. Man, 365 feels like shit. Or like, man, this progress photo is not looking so good. Like I'm trying to look lean for the summer, or I'm trying to look lean for my wedding. I'm trying to look lean for my birthday. Like, man, what else can I do? And it's like better to share stuff like that with us. So like if you want, like tag us in like your progress photos. Maybe if that will help like coach you to like your goal, either to build muscle or to like lose fat. And like maybe Roman and I can kind of chime in and see like, hey, maybe let's look at the overall picture and just like maybe get something on the board or try to talk with us and work with us a little bit more. So
Yeah, and I'd say like I know like, there's like joy, but it really is true. It's okay to look at other like folks like physique and like their aesthetic, and you see somebody like let's say like Nick Walker, for example, and you're like, I want to be that big and whatnot. Like
Jesus.
reality is that it's like highly improbable that like it doesn't matter who it is. They could be another up and coming bodybuilder, enhanced bodybuilder. They're probably not going to look like Nick Walker. He is the mutant. But like where you should be comparing yourself, or I think where comparisons are okay, is like against yourself. You can say like, how do I look compared to like when I first started? And like, if it's a worse condition, for example, like I wouldn't beat yourself up, look at it analytically and say like, what was I doing then? What am I doing now? And like, can I get back to this? Or like, what improvements or what changes can I make? And, don't create a laundry list. Create like 1 to 3 things that you can change, and then just get after it. But yeah, I mean, we're absolutely a sounding board. We help like our friends, families, etc. with this kind of stuff like all the time. So this is kind of what we're passionate about.
Yeah, like Roman, yeah, and then to add on to like the 1 or 3 things that Roman's talked about, like it doesn't have to be like overnight. It could be like within the couple weeks. Like, how can I remove, like, say if you drink 2 sodas or pops, whatever you want to call them, 2 sodas, pops, like a day, and like your goal is to lose fat. Like, one of the goals maybe is within a week you drop down to 1 soda a day, and then eventually like half a cup, and then 0 cups, like stuff like that. Like, do plan that stuff like over the weeks instead of like overnight and make it overkill. That should be like it's because we were gonna talk about crash diets too, but I mean we're I mean I guess it leads into that, but like it'd be like it would be like the new crash diet. It's gonna be called overnight overkill, where pretty much overnight you kill everything you're doing and do nothing, and then try to lose as much weight as possible.
Just drink cucumber water.
Yeah, exactly. Just like yeah, yeah.
No.
But no, but back to the point, like this, I guess the second part of this episode we're talking about is like crash diets and stuff. But like, I guess the reason for progress, a lot of most, I guess like 75%, I'd say, for progress photos is probably losing fat. I'd say the 25% is maybe like gaining muscle or trying to build muscle. I wouldn't say all. Wouldn't you agree? Like the percentages, I wouldn't say a lot of progress photos are taken when you're bulking as much. I don't know.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think most when I think of progress photos.
It probably depends on the person, because I know some people they like doing that kind of stuff because they like seeing, and especially based off your genetics. Like some males, like their shoulders will blow up as soon as they like start to like add carbs back in, and they like get into a caloric surplus, and they're like, damn, I'm a freaking fridge, I love this. Whereas other people are like, oh man, my abs are looking watery and whatnot. So it probably is individualistic, and I think that there's probably different camps. But yeah, no, I know I follow some like amateur bodybuilders that it seems like they're very passionate about, like, yes, like the journey of like cutting and whatnot, but also the journey of massing up, because they love to see the transformation of their body. And in a way, like that is like part of what bodybuilding is about, is like constantly trying to move towards like bettering yourself. Whether it's like posing, whether it's like overall muscularity, whether it's like presentation, so like like flow, or like moving from pose to pose, whether it's like making a better routine, better diet, like all that stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only when I start bulking, the only thing that blows up is like my cheeks. Uh, I've been called normal SpongeBob when I am on my dirty bulks. If you don't know what normal SpongeBob is, it's like when he like became like normal and like his face was like completely round and like shiny. That's like pretty much like my face when I'm bulking. It's all in the face. And if you look at like my bodybuilding pictures, like I had like no cheeks whatsoever. I'm like in like the half phase where it's like I'm not too skinny, I'm not fat, type deal. But yeah, like for me personally, I know that's a good point you put, like individually. For me, like when I cut, like, or if I'm like lean, I'll take more photos. But like when I'm bulking, I don't really tend to take a lot of photos. I'll take like more videos of like my lifts. Like holy cow, like I can deadlift 405 for 5 reps again. Like, it's like I feel like the videos extend when the weights gain, and then pictures will come. But no, that'd be nice. I would yeah, and for me, I could always put a bunch of pictures together too, because I have like flash drives of my bodybuilding show photos, and I could show like the difference between like dirty bulk, maintaining decent, and then like bodybuilding style. So Yeah, I we could do this all day. I love it. So, but yeah, I think that's all. Roman, did you want to add anything else?
No, I love it. I'm excited for kind of getting up with the content a little bit.
Yeah, maybe one day Roman will do a bodybuilding show with me. That'd be pretty hilarious.
I was talking to a customer yesterday. They're like, "Oh, do you compete?" I'm like, "I don't know. I've thought about it, but I was like, I don't know if I will." You know, I listed out some of the factors, but it crossed my mind from time to time. But it would be like 40.
Well, how about this? We'll do our own show. We'll get down to, instead of getting down to the crazy like 3 to 6% body fat, we'll get down to like 10%. See who looks the best.
Yeah,
So it doesn't, so we don't drop like our health levels that bad.
that sounds good to me.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Catch us on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, on all audio and video platforms. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.